Welcome to We Choose to Go to Kennedy, the official podcast of Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex, where we talk all things past, present, and future of American spaceflight from the very place it started. I'm your host, Jenna.
And I'm Russell, and we're with the communications team here at the Visitor Complex. And Jenna, we were just talking before we started rolling that summer is almost over. And it's been a busy summer for us at the Visitor Complex. A lot of things have gone on. You know, we had Crew 11, this launch. That's always exciting.
For sure. We had the gantry soft opening. That was a blast.
The gantry is open. we were very excited about that. We had Aviation Weekend,
which was my favorite.
That was your favorite?
We got a lot of, really exciting guests to talk to, a lot of fun panels, and the movie was great.
The movie was great. It's Blue Angels movie. And we had a Moon Fest honoring Apollo and the landing on the moon. And that was in July. It's been very busy, a lot of people out here, but it's not over. So don't have any type of fear of missing out, right?
Exactly.
There's things coming up. Kennedy Under the Stars. It's a nighttime event, August 30th. Great for families with young kids. Great for date night. And this is like kind of the end of summer weekend right before Labor Day. So maybe this is your last chance to kind of have a unique experience here at the Visitor Complex. So today we're going to talk to two astronauts who, if you come here for Kennedy Under the Stars, you can meet them, talk to them, ask some questions, get photos with them. Who else do we have?
We get to talk to a really awesome astrophysicist and the director of the Ortega Observatory to tell us a little bit about how these telescopes work and what we can see in the sky and really why we should pay attention and just look up.
And Kennedy Under the Stars is fun, family, great for date night. It's also educational again. So we're going to talk to one of our educational leaders about all the things. Well, not all of them. There's a lot. Many of the things that you can do out here at the Visitor Complex when you come visit on the educational side. So are you ready?
I am very ready. Got a lot of fun conversations planned and ready to go. So let's get started.
Let's do it.
We choose to go to the moon. Not because they are easy.
Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
But because they are hard.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Joining us today is our Senior Manager of Private Education, Brittany, and she's going to tell us a little bit about the education opportunities we have here at the Visitor Complex.
Welcome, Brittany.
Hi.
It's so good to have you here. So you've been here for about 2 years or so.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We know who you guys are because all the educators in your realm wear the purple shirts.
Yes.
So when you see you guys walking around, we know that education is going on.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about what you do day in, day out.
Sure. So my background is in education. So I came from public schools and was a teacher and then an administrator. So I have all of that experience that I brought over to our team. So our team gives guests the experiences that are private to the regular day-to-day operations that go on here. So anything that our team does is completely booked in advance. We do have some same day offerings on occasion, but for the most part, we book everything out. We offer lots of experiences for groups, families, and give a really good individual experience to each guest that comes into our programming. So we handle all sorts of things from astronaut training experiences to overnight adventures, different, summer camps, things like that.
So out of all the education opportunities we have here, what do you think is the one can't miss opportunity for children?
So I would say really all of our programs are fantastic. You really can't go wrong with any choice, but our astronaut training experience is by far probably our most popular program that we offer. It's for anybody ages 10 and up. And so you come in and you get to do actual astronaut training experiences. So these are tailored similar to what real life astronauts go through for training. So we offer things like microgravity simulations, a land and drive simulator. So you get in and you're driving around on Mars terrain. And this simulator is a complete encapsulating experience where you're moving around and flipping if you wanted to. You're landing and all of those things. We offer virtual reality in that experience as well, where you're walking on Mars. We offer a briefing where we give you the most up-to-date on what's currently going on with NASA, different fun historical facts and stories that our team is very passionate about telling. And then we also offer a mission experience where you are doing a simulated launch control mission, and half of you are launch control and half of you are in the capsule. And you get teamwork throughout that entire experience, which is really the backbone of NASA's story, is everything you do is as a team. So families can come in, work with other, random families and make new friends and do different things, or they can group as a big, book as a big group and come in. And it's a really fantastic experience to really work on teamwork and communication and get that experience that astronauts have.
And so you go through this with as you said, families, kids, with adults. What do you see after the fact? So kid comes in, they come in as a team, they do some of the activities, they walk away. What do they take away when they leave us?
I would say probably the biggest takeaway is that the possibilities are endless for them. They see an opportunity to come in and they think, oh, I'm just going to do some cool simulator. I'm going to hang out with my family for the day, or, a group of people that I know, or even new friends. But they leave and they see that they have the potential to be an astronaut. So many of our astronauts are so similar to the guests that come through and the background and experiences that they have. So they see this is in the realm of possibility for me. Maybe I don't want to go into space, but I want to use my math skills. I really enjoyed working in launch control today. That was really cool. How can I continue that journey, and what do I need to do to get there? Part of the experience that we offer as well is when guests are done, they can go and on their certificates, there's a QR code that they scan, and it tells them how they ranked throughout the day. They get points and different things, but it also provides them with opportunities for careers. So where did I fall? How well did I do? Did I really excel in one particular simulator? And how does that give me career opportunities going forward? So all the kids that come through as young as 10 all the way up, even adults, they see that the possibilities are still endless for them.
Definitely. I mean, my personal experience did not rank very high when doing astronaut training. I know. I thought I would have, but
you had fun though, right?
I had the most fun.
You had fun.
Yes. But altogether, of course I love space. This is my job, but it definitely solidified my interest in it. And I really think it'll open doors for tons of young children interested in that industry. But I want to talk a little bit about our botany lab. Can you tell us about the kind of work that we do there and what children can experiment with over there?
Sure. So you would experience our botany lab if you were part of our Mars-based program. So that's another one that families can book into or groups can book into. Again, it's for ages 10 and up, but you would spend the day with our educator team and you'd be essentially living and working on Mars and performing different activities and experiments throughout the day. But one of your stops would be the botany lab. And in our botany lab, everything we grow is something that is either currently being grown in space or has been grown in space. So we try to be very authentic to that. We've also had a relationship with Project Veggie, a project that NASA has been headlining for a while now, and they do complete research on what's grown in space. And so we are able to explain, what are the components of growing things in space? It's not as simple as just taking dirt up into space and planting like you would here. There's so many layers and components to it. The kids get to plant, they get to harvest, they can extract DNA, they can do all sorts of really neat things in there, and also understanding the sustainability component. So what do we need to keep in mind when we're growing food for astronauts in space? So again, if they had an aspiration to be an astronaut, what kind of stuff would they be allowed to eat and do? But also, if I'm on the back end of that, what sort of research is needed to make sure that astronauts have what they need? They're only up there for a certain amount of time, so we need quick growing stuff. So a lot of our stuff in the botany lab are microgreens. Those are quick, nutritious, easy things that astronauts can easily plant, eat, and replant. So our teams, give that opportunity to guests to come through and get to see all those really cool things in the lab.
It's amazing what you get to see when you go behind kind of the closed doors of a normal experience. You get to maybe, spend a little extra time on the educational component of it. And so that's amazing.
Yeah.
Brittany, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
we
you for
appreciate the work
having me.
you do here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Kennedy Under the Stars is coming up in just a couple of weeks, and I don't know about you guys, but I'm very excited to see the telescopes and all there is to see in the sky. And to tell us a little bit more about what we can expect, we have the director of the Ortega Observatory. We have Dr. Quiroga. Luis, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Jenna, for the invitation. I am so glad to be here. I'm pretty excited for is coming during the Kennedy Under the Stars event.
I'm very excited. I know last year we had a mobile observatory coming along with us. I want to talk a little bit about what you do as a whole. What's your specialty and kind
Okay.
of what got you into it?
So I'm an astrophysicist. I'm a researcher at the university. I'm a professor at the university. I'm also directing the observatory at Florida Tech. And my research is trying to investigate what type of stars are in the Milky Way, how we can characterize them, basically, how we can investigate about them, what type of parameters we can get from them. So for that, I use space telescopes like the Hubble replica that we have here in the back, but I also use ground-based telescopes, mostly radio telescopes. So I try to combine information from different type of telescopes, ground-based and on the space, combine all of that information in order to understand better the stars that are in the Milky Way. Basically, that's my research.
Yeah, that's really fascinating. I know people are going to get a little bit of a more mellowed down view of it, but I want to talk about the telescopes that we're going to have at the
Sure.
event and exactly how they work and what can guests expect to see.
I think that we will have a variety of telescopes during the Kennedy Under the Stars event. So there's going to be some of them with some similarities to the Hubble that is in the back again, but some of them are also designed to approach the public to the universe. So there are going to be different types, as I mentioned. One of them is just right back from you. That's a telescope that has a very particular similarity with the Hubble one, and is that everything, all the data that is collected is analyzed internally in the telescope. So actually, if you arrive to the event, you can have your phone and check what is observing right now with that telescope.
That's amazing.
So we will create a network that you will be able to connect with that telescope and observe what is doing that telescope. Similar to the Hubble one. When you talk about telescopes, usually the people think like seeing
Yes.
with your eye. And we will have those telescopes as well. We will have different type of mounts. We call them equatorial, azimuthal mounts. There are different types. So the people can learn if they want to buy a telescope, what type of telescope is the one that they wish to have in their yards in order to observe certain parts of the universe. Or we have also different, are called different characteristics of the telescope itself. You know, some of them with reflectors or Smith Cassegrain, so different types of them. So again, the invitation is that you show up because there are going to be so much diversity in the telescope, observing different objects, so you can see the difference between buying this telescope with respect to this one, or what I can learn from this from here. And there are going to be experts, not only people like me, other professors, but also grad students, undergrad students in our majors in astrophysics, that they will be there for you to guide you through the universe and through instrumentation in astronomy.
So there's all different types of telescopes.
Correct.
I'm sure to see all different types of things. What can we see?
We are going to expect some of the solar system objects, some of the planets will be observable, and we will make sure to shoot some of them. Why not the most important star for us, the sun? We are prepared to do solar observations. So before, that it's getting it's getting dark quite late, So what we expect is that at the beginning of the Kennedy Under the Stars, there's going to be still light. So we will make sure that our telescopes have the solar filters, so you can observe directly to the sun, check some solar spots around, make some images with your phone if you would like to, register the moment. But when the night starts coming, we are going to point our telescopes to mainly solar system objects, planets, and we are going to also be pointing to some binary star systems.
I want to point out what's in your hand. That's
Oh.
Mars, correct? We'll be able to see anything from that. And what can we check out?
That's true. The idea is that this experience is going to be an observational experience, yes? So, but we are prepared for people with certain visual disabilities in order to enjoy the moment as well. So, as part of the observatory, as part of our big trailer, when we bring all of these telescopes and experiences for you, during the Kennedy Under the Stars, we will also bring these kind of models. There are 3D models that we have made by acquiring data or getting data from different telescopes that we are able to reach. So basically, all of this 3D printed is actually how it feels Mars. In this case, we have Mars. In your case, we have a brown planet called Ceres, and we have other things around. And basically, you can feel the Olympus volcano, change of mountains, what are the oceans, is 3D printed with all the features of each special object that we will be observing, so you have an idea of how it feels as well.
Well, astrophysics is no easy feat. I know you spent years in school studying that,
I
but
did.
I'm really excited that we have more of a community engagement section of having Kennedy Under the Stars. But I kind of want to talk about how you got into the field and really what's the most exciting things you found in your research.
Now, in terms of my research, I have a vivid moment. I was very young, I'm telling you, around 12, 15 years ago, around 12 years ago. I was 30 pounds lighter, full of life. And then at that moment, I was hired by the Space Telescope Science Institute. It's the institution that runs the Hubble Space Telescope and also the James Webb Space Telescope. And I was an intern there, a research intern, that's located in Baltimore, in Maryland. And I was working there, and I do remember that I received data from a debris disk. A debris disk is basically the formation of like previous stages of the formation, like a solar system one. So at that moment when I observed that disk, it was actually a protoplanetary disk. Protoplanetary disk. I remember that I found one object really nearby to that disk that seems to be a planet. And I get super excited because I say, wait a second, if I remember the rules, if you find it, you name it, yes? So I was going to be immortalized at that moment in the universe. But I have to say that after doing some research, I found that it was a binary star. There was another small star in the behind that was part of this system. Although what's interesting, believe me, the moment that you think that you discover a completely new thing is shocking. But
sure.
after that, the interesting part comes here is when I get the new results and everything, I start sharing with the community, I started sharing with other scientists around the world about it, and then we investigate. And I found that part very, very amazing because when you share with people of other cultures, they have different information than you, but there are enough smart humans in this world that you can share the ideas, arrive to a common statement, scientific statement, saying this is what we think that actually is happening outside Earth. Then you experience all of these smart people around the world, and the interaction with them, with other cultures, have been fantastic. I have enjoyed that part of my life a lot.
Well, we're introducing people already with Kennedy Under the Stars coming
Fantastic.
up. This is not your first rodeo. You've been here before.
Yes.
Tell me what it's like working with the public. What are their reactions like? What sticks with you
No,
after these
I think
events?
that in the Kennedy Under the Star is another level. I think that the people that usually come is people that actually appreciate a lot the NASA work in general for us as humans, but also they love the universe. They love space. They love rockets. So when I have been here in Kennedy Under the Stars, I have thousands of good questions from the people. They are hunger of knowledge. They want to learn more, and especially the kids. The kids want to understand. They want to know, and they are fascinated about it. And the universe is something that comes with that. So I'm pretty proud of this collaboration that we have between Florida Tech and the Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex, because it allows us to share knowledge. It allows us to approach better to the universe at the end. But it's also important that the people that come here understand that there are no bad questions. If you have a question, it's valid. You as human can ask whatever you want, and we will make sure to have an answer, but we cannot promise things. I have received questions that, sadly, I don't have an answer, and I think that the science doesn't have an answer. Like, for example, are there aliens outside Earth? Or what happens if I enter to a black hole? Those are questions that, sadly, we can say at this moment we don't know. We don't know. But we will make sure to approach and to give you insights about how we have been approaching to that. So the kind of interaction is a person that is hunger of knowledge, and we will make sure to try to fulfill as much as we can with that. Basically.
Of course. There's nothing more important than staying curious, and the perfect
Correct.
place to ask your questions will be at the event at the end of the month. Thank you so much for joining us,
No,
Luis, and we're
please.
very excited
Thank
for
you for
Kennedy
the
Under the
invitation.
Stars.
Thank you for the invitation. We will be glad. You will find us. We will have the Florida Tech signs. There are going to be people from Kennedy Under the Stars, from Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex during the event. So I definitely recommend you. I am really want you to be here because I think that people in your family, your kids will enjoy it. They will have a lot of fun. This is only, the observatory one is only one activity. There are plenty of activities that you can enjoy. So please come and join us.
Yeah,
More
well-
than glad to support you.
We'll see you there.
Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jenna.
One of the really cool things you get to do when you are out here is you get to meet with two astronauts. And today we're joined by retired astronauts Ellen Ochoa and Mike Foreman. Thank you guys so much for being here.
Well, thanks. Great to be here. Great to get a chance to chat with you. Great to see my good friend Ellen Ochoa, who lives somewhere, Boise, Idaho, or someplace crazy. You know, I'm kind of easy to find. I live in Houston, of all places, but
yeah, and I'm happy to be here too. Happy to be here with Mike, and looking forward to coming out at the end of the month.
We're very excited to host you and let the people who attend Kennedy Under the Stars spend a few moments with you and kind of hear your story. But let's hear a little bit of your story right now. Ellen, tell us a little bit about your background when it comes to your NASA career, and then kind of what have you been doing recently?
Okay. Well, I was selected as an astronaut in 1990, and I flew on 4 space shuttle missions between 1993 and 2002. And 2 of them were part of studying the Earth's atmosphere. In particular, we were looking at the problem of ozone depletion in the ozone hole. And then the 3rd and 4th flights were part of building the International Space Station. And as you know, in November, we'll be celebrating 25 years of astronauts living continuously on the International Space Station. I'm not sure I could have predicted that when I started building it, but that makes me immensely proud to have been part of that. I later became the center director at Johnson Space Center and did that for the last 5.5 years or so of my 30 years at NASA. And now I serve on a number of boards, and I do some speaking engagements, and certainly looking forward to talking to folks that show up to Kennedy Under the Stars.
Whenever I have the opportunity to speak with astronauts, I always feel a little bit like I'm not living the life that I should be living because you're so accomplished and so humble and so smart and engaged. So what a career. And yes, 25 years at ISS, and a lot of that is thanks to you. Mike, your story with NASA.
Well, I'm a little older than Ellen, but I got there a little later. I came in the class of 1998. I was trying for 8 applications before the 8th one was the charm for me. So I was trying to get in there. I wasn't as smart, as good looking as Ellen, obviously not as young. But anyway, I kept trying. I got in there in 1998, which was a good time to be there because the space station was getting launched about that time. We were starting to talk about putting people up there. And then I eventually flew on 2 space shuttle missions that both had to do with assembling space station. And I got to do some spacewalks during that time. So I did 5 spacewalks going outside with my tool belt and adding things to the space station in 2008 and 2009. And then I stayed till 2015 and left and went to work for my wife, actually. She had a consulting firm here in Houston, and she lured me away from NASA, and I thought it would be fun, and it was fun working with her. And we did that for about 9 years together, and then now we're both retired. But in my spare time, because she didn't work me too hard, I thought, well, maybe it'd be cool to be on city council in Friendswood, Texas, where we've lived for 27 years. So 2016, I got elected to city council, and in 2018, I got elected as a mayor. And so now I'm starting my 8th year as mayor, and I love it. And it's great volunteer job. Doesn't pay anything, but I love it. People here are fantastic. We have a lot of astronauts live here now, Ellen. You'd be surprised because in our day, not as many people lived on this side of the freeway. Right. And now it's attracting those people, those astronauts with families, and it's a great community. So very proud of all the astronauts that live here now and all the NASA people that live here.
Must be because they have a great mayor, Mike.
Well, despite the mayor, people actually come and live here, yes.
Well, it's an endorsement for sure. So you mentioned spacewalks. Okay, quick question. What is the thing that goes through your mind as you are preparing to step out for your first spacewalk?
I did 5 of them. I'll tell you, the last 4, I was just raring to go. The first one, I was a little anxious because, I've trained for hundreds of hours in this suit in the pool where we train. I'm very comfortable with what I'm going to be doing. I'm just not sure how I'm going to feel floating next to the space station, 240 miles up, traveling 17,500 miles an hour. Some astronauts have come back from spacewalks saying, hey, it felt like I was falling, which we literally are falling, but you don't want to have that feeling of falling while you're out there because that would be uncomfortable. But I got out there, and within 30 seconds, I got extremely comfortable with it because the handrail that I grabbed right outside the airlock and the next handrail were just like the ones in the pool. I said, wow, they built this space station just like the mock-up in the pool, which is great. So NASA training, I would say the thing that NASA Johnson Space Center is the best at is training astronauts. And they did such a fantastic job for me in my spacewalks that it's a weird thing to be outside, in your own one-person spaceship, basically in orbit next to the space station. Now, we stay attached to it all the time, but we're literally just another object in orbit next to the space station with great views. And, I don't want to tell Ellen that the views from inside were pretty good, but the views from inside the helmet were even better. But
I think I've heard that before.
Yeah, exactly.
But Ellen, you have flute in your background, and so and flute in space.
Yeah.
So how did that happen?
Well, I did have the opportunity to take it on my first flight, and it needed to be part of a payload because they weren't allowing astronauts to take, at that time, musical instruments just as a personal object. But one of the things we were doing on our flight, in addition to our main scientific mission, is we were filming a video for a series that NASA had called Liftoff to Learning. And the particular video that we had was about living in space, and it was aimed at kindergartners through second graders. And so we were trying to show how what we do in space sort of relates to their day on the ground, from getting up and the differences or the similarities and things like brushing your teeth and eating, and then us going off to work, kids going off to school. So I was able to get my flute on to say, and you can also do your hobbies in space. I didn't really mention that on shuttle flights, you are so busy that really getting to do a hobby is not something you get to do a lot of. Although when you're there for 6 months on the space station, there's a little more opportunity to do that. But I did get to pull it out and play it for this Liftoff to Learning video.
That is amazing. Are you bringing the flute for Kennedy Under the Stars?
No, I really wasn't planning to do that. But, I will tell you, when parents tell kids, starting out in a musical instrument, this is something you can do your whole life. I'll attest to that because, I started playing when I was 10. And even now in Boise, I'm playing in 2 musical groups, a community band and a flute orchestra. And it's been really fun since leaving NASA, where I have a little bit more time to get back into playing. So
that is great. That is great. So Kennedy Under the Stars is one of our signature events. It's at nighttime. Obviously, this time of year, end of August, it'll still be a little bit light when we begin, but it will definitely end under the stars. It's a lot of date night people will be coming, a lot of families will be bringing their kids, a lot of music, a lot of fun. What are you guys looking forward to experiencing at Kennedy Under the Stars? Ellen, we'll start with you.
Okay. Well, I'm sure both Mike and I just love sharing the excitement of space with people. And we've all given lots of talks, anywhere from little kids to groups of adults. And it's just exciting to see what they're interested in, to be able to answer their questions, to talk about our own experiences. And really, in a way, we're giving back, we're thanking them, right? People may not realize it, but we understand we were government employees, that the taxpayers were supporting us. and that we really needed to be doing things that benefited humanity. And part of that, in addition to the science and the discovery, is inspiring people. And space is something that really inspires people. And that's why it's so much fun to get out and to talk to people who are clearly very excited because they're showing up for this event.
Right.
Right. Yeah, I can't wait. I always say the second best thing about being an astronaut is sharing the experience with other people. First is going to space, but second best thing is sharing it. And I love meeting new people all the time. That's why I continue to come to the Kennedy Space Center for the Astronaut Encounters program, and I'll actually be there that weekend doing that also during the day, and then I'll have a little later night that night. But yeah, I'm looking forward to just, like Ellen said, chatting with people, and we do kind of owe it. We feel like it to people that to share those experiences. You know, obviously everybody doesn't get a chance to go to space. We were blessed to get that opportunity, and sharing it with other people was always a lot of fun. And going outside and look at the stars, what could be bad about that?
Nothing is the answer. It's going to be a great evening, and we are excited to have you both here. Okay, you guys are very busy people, but I have 3 more questions for you, real quick. We call it the 3, 2, 1. So countdown, right? Very, very unique. Okay, question number 3. What does it feel like when you're on the launch pad and you get T0 and you start going up? What does that feel like on your body as you're just in that first stage of going towards space?
Well, can I take this one off, Ellen?
Go ahead, Mike.
I tell people all the time, it's kind of like being in your car at a stop sign and someone runs into the back of you. Because that's happened to me. It's happened to me twice, so I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but I'm actually stopping at stop signs, I guess. And when somebody hits you from behind, you are thrown back into your seat very violently, depending on how hard they hit you. And so I always say space shuttle launch was kind of like a car wreck, you know? It's like, whoa, somebody just rear-ended us, and you get this thump, you know, and it is a wild ride.
And I think the only thing I'll add to that is for the first 2 minutes of launch, where the solid rocket boosters are burning, there's also a lot of vibration. After they separate away, it gets a lot smoother. So you not only have the acceleration, but you have the vibration. And so, you know, it is pretty dramatic. It gets your attention.
Definitely.
It definitely seems like it, watching from the ground. I'm like, that's definitely intense. Okay, question number 2. What is the best food that you've eaten in space?
Well, I'll start out. I was one of those people that liked pretty much every kind of space food, but my go-to was probably good old comfort food, mac and cheese.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Mike.
I'm like Ellen. I liked everything. Now, it helps that NASA allows us to choose our own menus, so we know kind of what we like from their menu. So those are the things we put on it, obviously. But I always joke that my favorite space food's peanut M&Ms because I took enough of those so that every day I had 1 or 2 packages of peanut M&Ms for my snacks, you know, just to keep me going during the middle of the day.
Okay, so when you guys are here, Ellen gets mac and cheese, and Mike gets some M&Ms. We're gonna make a note for that for when you're here later this month. Okay, question number 1. What was the coolest thing about being in space? We'll start with Ellen.
Well, I think the thing you take with you the whole rest of your life is the view of Earth from space. And, over my 4 missions, I launched at different times of the year, different times of day. So you see different parts of the Earth in sunlight and in different seasons. So you never feel like you're really seeing the same thing over and over. And of course, anywhere you've lived or worked, so going over to the United States, of course, when you go over Kennedy Space Center, where you launched from, that's always exciting. And then I'm originally from Southern California, the San Diego area, and the San Diego Harbor is very distinctive. And so it was always so much fun to go over a place that you know well like that.
Yeah, I think the only thing I can add, because I think every astronaut you'll ask will say that the views of the Earth are the best, absolute best thing. But living in a microgravity environment where you're floating for the entire time you're in space, it's kind of fun and incredible. Hard for me to sleep there in that environment because I like a mattress and a pillow. But other than that, it was really cool just being weightless and floating around.
Gotcha. Ellen Ochoa, Mike Foreman, thank you so much for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing you very soon here at Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex.
Thank you so much,
Well,
Russ.
thanks a lot, Russell.
And see you
Definitely
next-
looking forward to it.
Well, I don't know about you, Russ, but I think we've had some great conversations with some awesome people today, and we've learned a lot, and I'm very excited for Kennedy Under the Stars.
How can you not be excited? I mean, we have 2 astronauts, we have people looking up into the sky, we have our education team on point, so it's going to be a fun night, and it's going to be a fun fall, really, for us.
Yeah, as the weather starts cooling down, hopefully, we have a lot of fun things lined up, and you guys can make sure to check out our socials, check out our website to see what's coming up, and make sure to grab your tickets before they sell out.
Yeah, any questions on information? KennedySpaceCenter.com, and we look forward to seeing you soon.
Thank you guys so much for joining us.
We choose to go to the moon. Not because they are easy,
Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
but because they are hard.
It's one small